It seems the Gray case is not exactly black and white. Freddie Gray was arrested after running from police upon eye contact and, according to another prisoner, injured himself during transport to a booking facility. Gray died a week later. Baltimore Attorney Marilyn Mosby, within 24 hours of receiving the case, publicly announced charges being filed against 6 Baltimore police officers involved in the arrest and transportation of Freddie Gray. In her rant against the police officers, she said this:
Officers Miller and Narrow then placed Mr. Gray in a seated position and subsequently found a knife clipped to the inside of his pants pocket. The blade of the knife was folded into the handle. The knife was not a switchblade and is lawful under Maryland law.
Well, there's a couple of problems with that. First of all, the police never made the claim that Gray was carrying a switchblade. In his arrest report, Officer Garrett Miller stated that the knife he recovered was, quote, found to be a spring-assisted, one-hand operated knife, unquote. A spring-assisted knife will spring open by itself after receiving a small amount of pressure by the person handling it. And whether or not the knife is legal under Maryland law doesn't matter. Freddie Gray was arrested for a violation of a Baltimore law which states, quote, it shall be unlawful for any person to sell, carry, or possess any knife with an automatic spring or other device for opening and or closing the blade, unquote. Mosby said herself that all of the events took place in Baltimore, Maryland. The spring-assisted knife officers found on Gray is most certainly illegal under Baltimore law. So did Marilyn Mosby or her crack team of investigators even bother to look at the knife before announcing her opinion about its legality? Or were they just in such a hurry to politicize the Gray case and get these officers charged so they could run to the microphones and beg the rioters to stop burning Baltimore to the ground that they didn't have time to consider city statutes? What we do know is that Mosby is not only a leftist but a rabid liberal activist. She is using this incident to make a name for herself. And like a rabid liberal activist, the facts are secondary to the agenda. In all likelihood, the conclusion she reached is the conclusion her ideology demands, not one supported by the facts. Thanks for listening, and be sure to catch The Weekly Ray Wonder Show and subscribe at iTunes or at therayWonderShow.com.